Stalin was born in Georgia in 1878. Growing up, he would go through many career paths, even at one point training to become a priest of all things. However, after discovering the works of Marx and Lenin, Stalin found his true calling in life, and from that day forward, he became a Marxist revolutionary, in which he was responsible for many ruthless kidnappings, robberies, and assassinations. However, this ruthlessness greatly impressed Lenin, and he continued to rise through the ranks until by the time of the Russian Revolution, Stalin was one of the key figures within the newly formed Communist Party. Under Lenin's leadership, Stalin was made General Secretary, and he used this time to gather support from within the party and by enrolling new members who were loyal to him and his view of communism. Therefore, by the time of Lenin's death, Stalin was able to ruthlessly take power, and he purged all rivals within the party, leaving Stalin the undisputed leader. As leader, Stalin successfully industrialized the Soviet Union, and he succeeded in collectivizing the farms. However, collectivization came at a heavy cost. It caused major famines as food was forcibly taken from the farms into the cities. Industrialization also had a heavy price, as millions were worked to death in order to achieve the rapid industrialization. And on top of this, Stalin ordered the deaths of millions more whom he suspected of being enemies of the state, even if there was absolutely no evidence to suggest this. Stalin believed it was better to be safe than sorry, and he had them killed anyways. Stalin also killed those in high positions, such as the army officers. He did this to such an extent that when Hitler invaded in 1941, the country had no effective military to counter. The USSR only managed to prevail at another great cost of life. Stalin had millions of patriotic Russians at his disposal, and he wasn't afraid to sacrifice them for victory. By the end of his life, Stalin would personally be responsible for the deaths of over 20 million people. During the later years of his life, Stalin grew increasingly paranoid. Stalin was already a distrusting man. He would go to such extents to ensure his personal protection, an example being insisting all the curtains in his room be cut from the bottom, so he could see the feet of anyone trying to hide behind them. Crazy. In the end, Stalin died alone. On the 1st of March 1953, he was discovered on the floor of his bedroom, soaked in his own urine. He had suffered a stroke, and he died shortly afterwards. Despite the suffering Stalin had caused, the people mourned the great leader's death. And ever since, Stalin has become a man of great interest and controversy. Some called him a ruthless dictator, while others call him a strong and effective leader of his country. What do you guys think? Either way, there is no doubt that Stalin is one of the great men of history, and his legacy and memory will be remembered for the years to come.